Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my corner of the world. We are here for a reaction to why Superman versus Godzilla is closer than you think. It was uploaded by Danco or Donko, however you pronounce it. So recently, I was watching the MonsterVerse Godzilla movies, and a random thought popped into my head. Superman versus Godzilla, and literally just a couple days later, I find that somebody actually put up a video for it. So I'm like, you know what? Let's record a reaction, and here we are. I don't know who would win this, but I'm ready to see what this person has to say about it. So let's hop in. Link to the original video will be in the description if you want to check it out without any interruption or commentary. Here we go.
Superman versus Godzilla. One of the most powerful heroes in the universe is squaring off against the big, giant mutant lizard. And using the DCEU and Monsterverse versions of the characters, well,
Okay.
who's ultimately coming out on top? Who's gonna win? Let's break it down. Now, for this showdown, even though we're going to be limiting Superman to just the version from the DCEU, just make it movie versus movie, still, this guy's an absolute powerhouse. In fact, this version of Superman has shown some of the best raw physical feats that
He
you'll ever
really
see,
has.
which of course does make sense. He's
Henry Cavill Superman
Superman.
is a beast.
He's been able to casually pull massive ships, lift up rocket ships, even fly around carrying an entire apartment building. Those are easily multi-ton feats right there. The guy's definitely strong. And all that strength also easily translates to when we see him in fights. Even in his very first fight against Zod and his Kryptonian warriors, well, Superman was kinda wrecking shop. Sure,
Yeah,
they were able to get their own hits in, but Superman was still strong enough to dominate in a 2-on-1 fight. Then when he actually faced off against General Zod, well, he ended up killing him and destroyed basically all of Metropolis in the process. He showed off that
love the
same
injustice
strength when
shots.
he completely no-sold the Justice League and casually overpowered 3 of them at once. And these dudes are definitely strong.
They
And he
are.
also managed to fight and beat up Doomsday, even though he had been weakened from kryptonite right before and then got caught in a nuclear explosion in the middle of the fight. And he completely bodied Steppenwolf, a dude who can also fight against Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, Superman even managed to overpower literal world-ending and world-shaping events. He's done it multiple times. He overpowered the beam sent out from the World Engine and then one-shot the machine. Then he did it again, ripping apart and overpowering the 3 mother boxes. So yeah, I say it again. Superman is like ridiculously strong.
He
He's
is
also
truly.
crazy tough. I mean, we mentioned it in passing, but the guy straight up survived a nuclear explosion, and a pretty massive nuclear explosion at that, considering that you can see it from outer space. He's straight up destroyed mountaintops as he crashed back to Earth. He's taken attacks from Cyborg and Wonder Woman like it was nothing. Heck, Superman even no-sold an attack from Steppenwolf and his axe. That same guy was dominating all the rest of the JL, and like we mentioned, he had already had a fight against another version of Doomsday, and they destroyed a moon in their fight together. Superman completely no-sold those attacks. And speaking of Doomsday, well, he managed to take all sorts of attacks from Doomsday, including massive energy wave attacks that were leveling the city. But
See, man, say what you want about the DCEU movies, but bro, you can't deny they truly have some of the most iconic live action scenes, you know? Like what they just showed with Doomsday and that massive like electrical explosion, like that was dope. That entire fight against Doomsday was epic. You know, that Superman, like in Man of Steel, Superman going up against Zod and his and his team, like, bro, like the character moments and like the action sequences, they popped off with those. Say what you want about the movies, whether they're good, bad, you love them, hate them, regardless. They have some of the best live action performances and action sequences out of everything like live action superhero stuff, in my opinion. And Henry Cavill, definitely a really good Superman. I really liked uh, this take on the character, like giving him that little, not necessarily edgy feel, but he's kind of like more along the lines of Batman and being kind of like stoic almost. Like it was just a really good take.
Seriously, he took all sorts of attacks from Doomsday and from Zod, and for the most part, Superman has been able to take it all no problem. He's ridiculously tough. But you can say really all the same for Godzilla, except for the fact that Godzilla is probably stronger and tougher. Like, as
Maybe.
for Godzilla, well, there's pretty much no other Alpha Titan that can stand up to him. Trust me, plenty have tried. But Godzilla has been able to fight against and kill the
I
Two
mean,
Mutos. He's
technically,
fought against and
Ghidorah was
beaten
piecing him
Kong.
up like
He's
crazy.
fought against King Ghidorah. Pretty much no one can stand up against him. And these are all some really serious monsters, too. I mean, the Mutos
And
weigh
Shimo was giving him
76,000
some work
tons and
too.
46,000 tons. Kong is 93,000 tons. King Ghidorah weighs 140,000 tons. So when Godzilla is just throwing these guys around with ease and decking them with attacks, well, you gotta factor that in. Godzilla is insanely strong. He easily overpowered all these titans. He easily fought against Shimo too in the new movie. And some of these monsters are seen creating country-sized earthquakes. And of course, that's not even mentioning the smaller stuff, like Godzilla walking through skyscrapers and leveling cities during his fight. All of that is just a given. He's ridiculously strong. And as Godzilla has gotten into his fair share of fights against other titans throughout the years, everyone just seems to be gunning for that crown. Well, they've all definitely got their hits in. I mean, just look at King Ghidorah.
Yeah,
Godzilla was able
Ghidorah,
to pretty
Shimo,
consistently trade blows
they
with Ghidorah. Take
they gave him the
everything that
best
Ghidorah
challenges, I
had.
think.
Really, Ghidorah had no true shot at taking Godzilla down until he amped himself with all the electricity in Boston. And then there's Kong. And for as powerful as Kong is, for being another true Alpha Titan, well, Godzilla was basically toying with him the entire time. And that's
Yeah.
seriously not all either. Godzilla is regularly surviving nuclear bombs. Like he survived the Castle Bravo nuke, a 15 megaton nuke that at the time was the largest nuke ever detonated. Godzilla took it like a champ. Then
He
there's
sure
the
did.
Oxygen Destroyer. Godzilla survived that even while taking it directly on the head. And last but not least, the Permian Impact, a straight up extinction level event. It broke apart the Earth's crust, created an explosion even larger than Africa,
Oh
and killed
damn.
90% of all life on the planet. Godzilla just took it while he just kept on swimming.
No,
Basically,
that's
Godzilla
wild.
is operating on just a straight up insane level. He's nearly impossible to hurt, much less put down for good. There have been a few times where he's been knocked out, a few low showings along the way, but the guy is insanely tough. Taking gigantic nuclear bombs directly to the face, tough. So yeah, both Superman and Godzilla can level cities during their fight. But
His
I think
strength
it's
and
safe to say
durability feats are
Godzilla
nuts.
has proven that he's still a bit stronger and he's definitely tougher.
Yeah.
Superman was almost killed by a nuke, and he was killed by an extinction level event. Godzilla has taken both of these directly to the face and kept on going. Of course, the one area Where Superman definitely has the edge is
Speed.
speed, because Clark is stupid fast.
Yeah.
He's able to absolutely statue other heroes, even though heroes like Wonder Woman are lightning timers. He's been able to casually break the sound barrier and keep up with the Flash while he's been flying around, and Superman really has no
That
problem
scene was
with
so cold,
completely
bro.
abusing
With
his speed
Superman's
either.
eyes
I
like
mean, just
slowly
ask
tracking
Steppenwolf
Flash.
how
That
hard it is to
that
land
was
a
so
punch on
cold.
this guy. It is totally possible for Superman to just abuse his speed in this fight too, just flying around Godzilla's head like an annoying little gnat, not getting hit once, then laying into Godzilla with some pretty powerful punches.
Yep.
However, in order to win that way, Superman is going to have to play a perfect fight. He really can't be tagged more than once, especially with Godzilla's atomic breath, because Superman just doesn't have the durability to take attacks like that. The man was almost killed by just one nuke. Godzilla has that kind of power and more to spare. And that's another thing to keep in mind here. Godzilla has seriously upgraded after the new
Yeah, he
Empire,
has.
and this new iteration of Big G is seriously more powerful. Just from absorbing the radiation and energy from the French nuclear power plant, well, that version of Godzilla was compared to the burning Godzilla that we saw in Boston, except a safer and more stable form. And then Godzilla upgraded again, so now he's said to have doubled in combat power from his prior form, and his
Yep.
energy capacity is 20 times greater than it used to be at his peak.
I
When
prefer the
he's
pink color. What do
unleashing
you guys
attacks,
think?
well, it's the
That pink
strongest
color looks
energy
so
readings
dope.
that anyone had ever seen. So yeah, he's seriously upgraded. Godzilla's nuclear energy and atomic breath is such a powerful attack, compared to the same kind of cosmic energy that's found in supermassive black holes, and it's been compared to a dying star about to go supernova. And it wasn't enough to just decapitate the female Muto, but it also pushed back King Ghidorah, and didn't just push back the 140,000 ton monster, but according to the novelization, well, it was slowly burning Godzilla alive and had him just
Oh wow.
screeching out in pain. The same guy who can survive the Oxygen Destroyer, well, that monster was being injured and burned by Godzilla's atomic blast. And then, of course, there's the time where Godzilla uses atomic breath to burrow all the way down to the hollow earth. Easily the craziest thing the big lizard has
Yeah,
ever
that's
done.
insane.
It's a country level feat at the bare minimum. It's absolutely crazy that Godzilla is able to do something like this.
I mean, when you put it like that, it definitely seems like Godzilla's got the win because, like, specifically DCEU Superman, I don't think he has done anything that scales up to this. I mean, Godzilla used his atomic breath to burrow through the planet, and then technically, Hollow Earth, it's like, I mean, yes, technically it is within our planet, but at the same time, isn't it essentially its own, like, little pocket dimension within Earth? Like, if I'm understanding that correctly, it is essentially its own, like, little pocket dimension, right? So he burrowed through our planet and through space time into a whole other dimension and damaging the beings within that dimension. That's insane. I don't think Superman has done anything to scale up to that. So when he puts it like that, I think Godzilla might take this. I think he might take that.
And all of that was from before Godzilla evolved and became 20 times more powerful. So again, you're asking Superman to fight a perfect fight. he can't get tagged once, because Godzilla's atomic energy is definitely packing the power of a nuke and then some.
Yeah.
Now, it's possible for Superman to fight a perfect fight. He's done it before. He didn't let Steppenwolf get one good hit on him.
Not one.
But I'm not really putting too much stock into it happening consistently, especially now that Godzilla has figured out how to unleash omnidirectional nuclear pulses, and since Godzilla has gotten a whole lot faster and more agile himself. Odds are
Not
that
up to
Godzilla is going to be
Superman
able to
speed though,
land
but
at
yeah.
least one hit on Superman here. And that one hit is likely all he needs. Superman just hasn't shown off the durability to remain in this fight, especially compared to just how durable Godzilla is. With Godzilla continuing to evolve and get more powerful from movie to movie, well, the edge is gonna have to go to him. Superman's strength and speed will make it interesting and keep the fight closer, but I gotta ultimately give it to Big G here.
Yeah,
Godzilla
it does sound like
wins.
that.
But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe.
Yeah, man. I was very interested in knowing like who would win in a fight between these two. Now, this is specifically DCEU Superman. Like if you go and also specifically the MonsterVerse version of Godzilla. Naturally, these two characters have various you know, versions of them. Like, you know, you got Superman from comics, and even then, multiple variations. Godzilla, I'm pretty sure, has got the same thing, like different movies, different comics, and whatnot. So, like, it just truly makes me wonder each of these two characters, like, peak forms, like, whatever variation of them is their strongest version, those two clashing, who do you think wins? That I don't know who would, but with these two versions of the characters, specifically Godzilla, I think after having watched this takes the win. But again, what do you guys think? That's gonna be it from me. If you enjoyed my reaction to this, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.